All right, I'm going to call this Planning Commission meeting to order on Tuesday, September 2nd at 2 p.m. I believe we have a quorum, but Stephanie, will you do a roll call, please?
Commissioner Byers?
Here.
Commissioner Hall?
Here.
Commissioner McElina?
Here.
Commissioner Richardson?
Here.
Commissioner Rigsby?
Here.
Also present is Stephanie and Alex for the Community Development Department. You do have a quorum.
Great, thanks, Stephanie. I appreciate you all being here. We're going to run through our agenda. The next item we have is a declaration of conflict of interest. Anybody on the commission have a conflict of interest?
No. None.
Okay, none. We'll move on to number 2, certification of compliance with resolution 2025-01. Stephanie?
I do certify that the meeting and properties were posted in accordance with resolution 2025-01 and in compliance with section 5493 of the municipal code.
Great, thanks, Stephanie. We are compliant with that. Let's move to the next item, approval of agenda.
I make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
I got a motion and a second for the agenda. Any discussion from the commission?
None.
Okay, we'll move to a roll call vote then.
Commissioner Byers?
Aye.
Commissioner Hall?
Aye.
Commissioner, I'm sorry, I messed up. We had a request to vacate an item off of the agenda for case 6A. A written request came in to withdraw his application. May I please have a motion to approve the agenda without item 6A?
Oh, do you want to amend your motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda with item 6A removed.
Second.
Okay, motion second. Any other discussion?
Sorry.
It's okay, no problem. Let's go to a roll call vote.
Commissioner Byers?
Aye.
Commissioner Hall?
Aye.
Commissioner McElina?
Aye.
Commissioner Richardson?
Aye.
Commissioner Rigsby?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Great. Let's go to the approval of meeting minutes from our regular meeting on July 1st, 2025.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from our regular meeting of July 1, 2025.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion on the meeting minutes? Seeing none, we'll move to a roll call vote.
Commissioner Byers?
Aye.
Commissioner Hall?
Aye.
Commissioner McElina?
Aye.
Commissioner Richardson?
Aye.
Commissioner Rigsby?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Great. We have all those items done. Next, we have our public input. So there's a lot of folks here today. We're so glad that you're here with us. Sometimes it's just the 5 or 7 of us, so it's good to see the community out. For today, there's a couple of items where we will present opportunity for the community to provide feedback on those specific bullet points. So if you would like to talk about one of the other items that is on our agenda, you will get the opportunity to do that later in this meeting. This public input session that we're about to open is for anybody that would want to comment on anything that's not on our agenda, so outside of our agenda. This is your time to bring any concerns to this commission. So at this time, I'll open it up to the group. Anything that's not on the agenda, happy to discuss it at this time. Okay, seeing no feedback or hands raised, we'll close this public input session. And as I said, you will get the opportunity to speak for any of the agenda items later. Thank you.
Commissioner Rigsby, before we proceed, I just want to make for the record, Vicki Williams is now present via Zoom.
Okay. Hey, Vicki.
Hey, Vicki.
Glad you're here. She can get off mute. Well, while she's working on that, let's move to our quasi-judicial hearing. We're skipping A as according to our motion, and then moving into B, variance case PV 2025-162. Stephanie or Alex, what can you tell us about this one?
This is a variance request, as you just mentioned, for the to allow for the enclosure of a existing carport that is incorporated into the existing structure. This is a corner lot at 110 Heath Drive, and so there are 20-foot front setbacks. The encroachment request would be for 8.6 feet into the south front yard setback, and then 8 feet into the 20-foot west front yard setback.
Great, thank you. Is the applicant here? Great, come on down. Now, if you'll raise your right hand and state your name and say you'll tell the truth and nothing but the truth.
Donna McMahon, will say the truth and nothing but the truth.
Thank you. Please have a seat and let us, tell us a little bit about what you're looking to do.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that when I copied and pasted this into the portal, the apology, which was at the very beginning, did not copy and paste for some reason. So with that, I'd like to apologize for starting work prior to permitting. We know better than this. I mean, we're in the business, especially on a corner lot. So I just want to make that clear that I meant no harm or ill will by that. We are a little under a gun because our daughter was graduating from Tech with her master's and made the decision that she wanted to move to Ruidoso and make it her home. And we said, okay, great. Our father-in-law just passed away. And so for the last 2 years, we've been trying to address all the deferred maintenance on this property. And so I told her, I said, there's no storage. Like, there's no closets in this house where you're going to put all your stuff, et cetera. Because she's an artist and she needs a place to work out of, just getting started. And so since the carport was there, and it's been there since 1973, and where there's no AC, electric, plumbing, or anything that's going to be inside of the structure, we were like, oh, this makes perfect sense. We could enclose this right side. It doesn't change the line of sight from all these years as far as the traffic pattern goes, and it shouldn't be a problem. But after I got the actual survey, because we never had it from my father-in-law, then we realized, oh, we're already in the encroachment, but that's something, like I said, it's been there for so many years. So, you know, I'm really just kind of coming in here, asking for some grace here. In order to relocate the structure, we would have to put a road in off of Heath with a culvert and take down a garden area in the back and build a structure from the ground up. And that's just not practical. I mean, financially, that's not something that, you know, why would we do that when we had the perfect little area, you know, with 3 walls we could close in? And just a safety factor of her can come in and out right there in the carport versus having to go outside of the house, bring stuff in and out. It's just kind of, it just seemed to be the proper location. Although I realize we don't have a quote hardship. Just with the aesthetics of the property, David Myers had mentioned the runaround or the workaround would be to enclose the left-hand side, but it's tall. And so if it's a camper type vehicle, which Pete Coco usually parks his vehicle there, we just let him do that for, to help him out. I know, I'm running out of time. Anyways, it is just aesthetically, it's better for it to be on the right.
As an applicant, you don't have a time limit.
Oh, well, that's the other, I've been on the other side where I had a time limit. Well, how long do y'all want to be? Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the basis of it. It was just kind of a series of a few stumbles at the beginning, and then now we're up against the wall with, you know, one carport, one side closed in and all of our wood and everything's bought. And, you know, if we need to pay a fine for starting prior, you know, we're willing to, it would feel bad because this isn't really, the last thing y'all need to be concerned about right now is someone starting work prior to permitting and then also it requiring a variance. So we do understand all of that. We've been coming to Ruidoso as a family since since I was 14. I mean, like, this is our second home in a way, so that's all I really have. Just asking for some mercy here.
Ms. McMahon, thank you. Thank you for that overview. At this time, we'll hear from the community development, and then we'll open it up to public comment, is what the next step would be. If there are no public comments, or people would be able to ask questions of you, after that process, then the commission will have some questions for you. So
Sure.
don't go far, because we're going to open up for public input.
No, like, I'm settled in now. I'm not feeling too nervous. No.
Okay, good. No need to be nervous. So.
I don't like speaking in front of 5 men. I mean, it's a little, where's Vicky?
She's online, she's there.
Yeah, she's there.
Hey,
Really not that
well, I have
bad, I don't
Stephanie
think.
over here, but
Good deal. Okay, so at this time, then we'll open it up for the staff's comment on their findings, and then we'll open it up for public comment. So Alex, Steph?
So upon a review of the application, it has been found that the current open structure being a carport meets the requirements of the open carport setbacks within the corner lot alignment with the municipal code. The request to enclose the current structure changes the structure types and requires the approval of the variance to complete the building permit process. Staff notes that the property is in conformance with property size under the requirements of 5469A. There are no findings of an irregular shape or limitations due to topography to place a structure on the property that would support the need of a variance under section 5498, and no additional setback deviations for corner lots were found in section 54124 in the municipal code. With no such findings of extraordinary hardship or practical difficulty of relocating a storage structure, the staff recommends denial of the request. Furthermore, it should be noted that the amount of the encroachment within the corner lot is significant.
Okay, thanks, Steph. At this time, we'll open it up for public comment. If anybody here is here to comment on this item. Okay, we'll go ahead and close public comment then. And now we'll open it up for the commission to ask questions of you, the applicant. Commissioners, questions?
In the photos, we see the enclosure partially already enclosed. Was that a do-it-yourself project, or did a contractor close that portion of the carport in?
kind of a combination. But we did hire someone from Ace Hardware. I don't remember his name, Roger. And that's the thing, they didn't say, oh, you need a permit either. So it was kind of like, but it was a referral from Village Ace.
Was that contractor licensed with the village?
Well, my husband is a builder, and so he hired them. And of course, we were there. So I guess he considered himself, my husband considered himself the homeowner doing it, but then we hired them as laborers. Is that?
Were the contractor licensed with the village? That was the question.
I don't know. I honestly have no idea. That's an excellent question. I mean, do you know, Calvin, if they were licensed? Do they have like I don't think he knows.
Okay.
I know that apparently they came, one of the guys works at Ace, and it's his father. Their names are Roger and Roger. I don't know their last name. I wrote the check, though. I can't remember.
Okay, thanks for that.
But I do know that they're framers.
So what we see in the picture, is that all he did? Just these
Yes, sir.
few studs and a
Yes, sir.
cross top? That's the only bay you're gonna take up, is just that one bay? Or are you gonna take up
Oh,
the
no,
whole
I'm
structure?
just the one bank, just
Just
the
the one bank,
right-hand
okay.
side, yes, sir.
In the photo, if you'll help clarify something for me, there, it looks like there's a fence that runs through the carport. Is that accurate? So I'm looking at photo 3, I guess, on page 7 or 33.
Right, okay, so it's sort of, a lot of things are sort of like patchwork.
Okay.
What you're seeing, and that's so ugly, we're gonna fix that too, but, that fence is a metal, it has metal tubing, like, metal tubing, and then it's got like these wood slats attached to it halfway. But it would keep a dog in or out. It's weird, because when you go into this, actual house, you step up, so then you're up on a carport. And that's where that fence is. It's really kind of
Gotcha.
strange. Okay, see how we have the, it looks like there's a drive, like you could pull a car in? We're not making that into a garage. Like, no one's gonna be pulling a vehicle in there. It's just, that's as far as the framing got.
Gotcha.
You know, we were just gonna dress it out and make it look nice. And obviously, this whole house is gonna be repainted, because it's,
And so
hasn't been
with
painted.
looking at the lot, I think the primary goal was to have storage. It appears based off of the topo lot that it's relatively flat on the north side of that. Is that accurate? So it,
North side,
of the lot, it's pretty flat relatively, right? Lot 24, looking up here.
right, but that's what I was talking about, like, we'd have to pour a slab and bring everything over onto that side, and it's outside of the fenced-in area of the house. There's no way to, like, you'd have to walk out the main gate, walk all the way around the house.
And so that fence that we're seeing, where is that on this? I don't think it's part of the survey, is it?
It is, let me get my glasses.
No, it's not on the survey.
It's weird, like the perimeter is not fenced. It's a kind of like a, let me get my bearings. So yes, that's just kind of this same little wooden fence that kind of goes around like that. So we'd have to go beyond that fence, and then we'd almost be in the setback. We'd have to tuck it in, you see where it says lot 24? We'd have to tuck it in way back in there. But you'd have to drive all the way back over to that. We'd have to make a path. It just seemed like a lot of expense to do something to a house that maybe if we ever were to sell this, the next person would be like, why do we have this building out here in the back stuck over here?
Okay. Thank you for that.
So, can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
I'm reading right here, and it says that a carport is supposed to be open on 3 sides to make it legit, and this has been closed, it looks like, on 2 sides for quite some time. Is this right?
So Steph, please clarify this for me, but the new, what I would consider tan color, that, you guys added that, is that correct?
Yes.
On the right-hand side?
Oh, you did add that on the
Yes.
right side. Okay, I thought that was
So those
pre-existing.
green beams were there, and then we just put
Yeah.
plywood in between.
Okay,
And then
I
on the
was- I
back,
thought just the
on the
front
back,
was-
half of it is already closed in. Like, you don't really have a photo of it, but like, if you were imagining if you were gonna walk through this carport, half of that's already enclosed in, just the way the design of the house is.
okay.
Other
But-
comments, questions?
My main thing, if you're asking me, is the line of sight didn't change. Nothing's changed as far as the traffic. You can still see, like, no one's gonna look through our carport to see if someone's coming, because there normally would, normal person would have a car there anyways. So that's kind of what I'm leaning on.
Yeah. Thanks for that
And I
comment.
can't cut off the roof and do anything about that. It's just the way that house was designed. Maybe the street was different before in 1973, I don't know.
I'm not sure on that. Vicky, Ron, any questions or comments?
No, I think I'm pretty
Go
clear.
ahead, Vicky.
I feel clear on what's happened and what she wants.
Okay. Ron, anything from you?
No, I kind of think I know what she wants to do too. I'm pretty well familiar with that house. I lived across the street from it for about a year, and you
you ever
know,
play cards
they
with
did
my
add those
father-in-law?
walls. And I don't even remember it having the walls in the back there. I always thought it was completely open.
No, you can't drive a vehicle through it. It's like halfway.
So I guess I have a question for the staff. So does this really even constitute as a carport at this point? It's got more than one, it's been enclosed on more than one side.
That's what has triggered the need for the variance, because they've altered the construction.
It's already been altered already.
Yes,
So now
that's
I'll
what
fix
you're
more.
seeing in the picture.
That was the apology that I can't
Yes,
come
ma'am.
up with.
Is that why it was red tagged with the
Correct.
correct?
Yes, in 35 years, we've never had a red tag, and we've done multiple. This is embarrassing, and it's humiliating. And I should have had my daughter come in here, too, just so y'all could, she could get the full view of what's happening here.
It's all
For
good.
her.
It's all good. Excuse me. Commissioners, any other questions for the applicant?
No.
Any other comments? Okay, I would entertain a motion then, if somebody has one, to move us along.
Based on the foregoing findings of fact per 54-69A, 54-9-98, and 54-124 of the Village Code, I move to grant the requested variance for case number PV-2025-162 with the conditions stated in the case report.
Second.
I got a motion and a second. Any discussion from the commission, whatever we are? No? Okay, let's move to a roll call vote.
Commissioner Byers?
Nay.
Commissioner Hall?
Nay.
Commissioner Michelina?
Nay.
Commissioner Richardson?
Nay.
Commissioner Rigsby?
Nay.
Motion does not carry.
And there's
Oh, I'm
Vicky.
sorry, Commissioner Williams?
Nay.
And may I have the reasons on why we were
Yeah.
voted no?
A variance has to have a hardship, and there's been no stated hardship based off lot conditions for the plan.
Yes.
Anything else?
No, there's other places to put it. So
Yeah. And the workaround, closing in the one on the left. I mean, there's
No,
other options.
that's
and
ugly. It will look ugly.
Yeah.
Our hands are tied.
There is a process outlined in the packet for variances, just so you are aware of your rights. Part of that is an appeal to Village Council.
No, I'm just gonna take down the wood and see what I can return to Home Depot and call it good. Thank y'all for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Sorry
ma'am.
about that.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Site plan and concept approval, SP 2025-166. Stephanie or Alex, what can you tell us about this?
This is a request for review of the site plan approval for a helipad to be installed on a lot nearby to the hospital that would be operated by the hospital for emergency evacuations of patients via helicopter.
Thank you, and we have the applicant here today, correct?
Yes.
Come on down. We'll have you both raise your right hand, state your name, say you'll tell the truth, nothing but the truth. Start with you, Todd.
Todd Overhue, I swear to tell the truth.
Thank you.
Anthony Santee, I also swear to tell the truth.
Thank you. And if you don't mind, your relation to the hospital.
So Todd Overhue, I'm the hospital chief executive of Lincoln County Medical Center. I'm here representing the Southwest Health Foundation, which is a parent entity of Presbyterian Healthcare Services.
Thank you.
Anthony Santee, I'm with Decker Architects. We're the designers for the helipad.
Okay, thank you both. So tell us what you're looking to do.
All right, so as most of y'all know, I've been here in the community for about 9 years. I will tell you, and I did have the opportunity to build the new hospital. And we did have discussions at the time when we built the new hospital about the need for a helipad. If you're unaware, this is the only hospital in the state of New Mexico that does not have a helipad on its campus. I think TRC did until about 6 years ago, and they have built one since then, and so we now are the last facility to do that. When I came in 9 years ago, though, we were required to transport any patients needing air evacuation out to the airport, which is up to a 30-minute commute, as you can imagine. And so have always been concerned about the safety and the viability situation that presents and the challenges that presents to the public from a health concern. About 5 years ago, there was an agreement that we're not part of, but the area ambulance were able to work out with the town or the city of Ruidoso Downs to allow helicopters to at times land at All-American Park. That greatly reduces the amount of transport time, but I want to tell you what the challenges are that still exist here. When a helipad is located at the hospital, what happens is the air ambulance crew will come into the hospital, they will package the patient. In other words, they will set up their IVs, they'll set up their treatments, have everything in place, and they will take the patient directly out to the helicopter. What happens right now, regardless if it's at All-American Park or if it's out at the airfield, is Lincoln County EMS packages the patient. And of course, they use the same equipment we do. And so what happens is Lincoln County EMS will take those patients to whichever location is where the air ambulance will come to. Then out there in the field, we will do a train changeover, all the IVs and a handoff of the patient to the air ambulance crew from that standpoint. And if you can imagine that, if you're in a life-threatening situation, if you've had a heart attack or a stroke or anything, that's a delay in care. That's a point where we are putting our patients and our community at an additional risk that I don't believe is necessary, and we can prevent that by this. The reason why the helipad was not placed when the new hospital was built is, frankly, there was not a location to do it at. Being in a mountain, a lot of people don't know this, but it's sometimes difficult for air ambulances to take off in a mountain situation, specifically when it's hot outside. Our situation is where the hospital is located in the county's property, it's actually located down lower. And so when we purchased the Nob Hill School property from the school district, did that with the intention of understanding that would afford us the ability to transfer more out than we would if we were at that lower level. We did have their ambulances back then actually come look at the property, and they really didn't see a viable place for a helipad back then. They have looked at the property that we're proposing this for now. The advantage of it is just that much higher. It also gives us the ability that they can take off a lift. And I do have, I believe, Native Air here if you need information from them too. But this will allow them to have a little more opportunity to kind of take a little bit of a move or running start in the event that they have some challenges because of the heat or their ability to get the appropriate lift just from a direct standstill. So that's kind of the focus of what we're looking at. Again, really the whole purpose of this is we want to improve the potential or reduce the health risk to our community by building this air ambulance there.
Okay, thank you.
There.
Thank you both. At this time, we'll open it up for public comment. We'll start with the comments from staff, and then anybody that wants to speak for or against will have the opportunity for up to 3 minutes to speak or ask questions to the applicants. The applicants will have the opportunity to respond. So if you both don't mind either just scooting over here, and do you mind just pulling around a chair? That'd be great. And at this time, we'll start with staff comments about their findings and when they evaluated this site plan and concept approval, and then we'll open it up.
So upon the review of the application and existing conditions, staff finds that the proposed request appears to be generally consistent with the village and municipal code and recommends the following conditions. The approval is only to be used for the use of a helipad as an incidental use to the Lincoln County Medical Complex. If there is no longer a need, or if the property is sold and used for another use other than the hospital, the helipad is to be removed and the surface restored to its natural state. This approval does not grant any permissions to use the site for any personal flights in present or future. The applicant shall submit all corrections as required by the development review with the permit applications. Building permits and applications pertaining to the approved site development plan may be submitted and reviewed, but not issued until after the appeal period. Applicant shall obtain all necessary building permits within 6 months and completion within 1 year of approval, and shall make no additional changes without obtaining the planning commission's approval.
Great, thanks, Steph. All right, at this time, we'll open it up for public comment. What I ask is if you've signed in, you can come on down and comment on this item. We'll give you 3 minutes to either ask questions or comment on this item. I saw you put your hand up first, so if you want to come on down, we'll have you say your name for the record as well. Come on down here if you don't mind. We'll get you on the record and the mic. And if you don't mind stating your name.
I'm Jim Bird. I'm with Native Air, as mentioned.
Thank you.
I'm just letting you guys know that I'm here to help answer questions, provide context to support the hospital. So here just as an expert from our side.
Okay, thank you. Other comments? Come on down. We'll have you state your name.
I'm Frances Gard Williams, and as you can tell, I'm a member of the Hospital Auxiliary, and I am a resident of this county. I have pretty close ties to the hospital. My daughter is the chief medical officer. I really think that this would be a great move for the hospital to have that. I think it will really help the ability of the hospital to get us where we need to go in the event of trauma. And if I'm not sure, didn't our helipad close with, or our pickup place down at the Downs, wasn't it closed where we couldn't get anyone out, even from down there, during the flooding?
Are you aware of that?
No? Okay. At any rate, I think this would be, given the transportation down to a secondary site, I think this would just really be a good thing.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments. Other comments? Anybody else want to ask questions of the applicant? We'll go Sam and then if you'll state your name for the record, please.
Hello, my name is Samantha Cerna, and I am a resident of Ruidoso. I also represent this district within Lincoln County. I felt compelled to come after I've seen the flooding that has taken place at the elementary schools, and so seeing that type of infrastructure being critical infrastructure, housing children during the day, without taking into consideration it being a bog or within our floodplain. And so I just wanted to come and give a few comments. I'll start with my reflection of the staff's work. I noticed it was noted as incidental. Typically that is used as a property contiguous to the current operation. This is across Sutton Drive, so I don't believe that this is incidental, in my opinion. Also, when you look at the notification map, the parcels of land that were notified were Lincoln County and the Big 5 parking lot. I think 200 feet is a minimum, and we should look at the spirit of the code. If you look a little beyond that, there are neighborhoods that are dense, that have been there for years. And so instead of just checking a box, I would encourage you all to expand your footprint and mail out notifications to the true impacted parties. But with that, I just want to say that I have been a resident of Ruidoso since 1990. My family goes back 5 generations here. This is where I've grown up, where I've built my life, and where I plan to raise my daughter. Over the last 30 years, I've stayed here through the good, the bad, the ugly, and the wildfires and economic challenges, to times of incredible community resilience. I do believe in smart growth, and this growth will strengthen our community and protect our citizens when they need it the most. Serving health, safety, and welfare of the community is our top priority. I also have a strong interest in protecting private property rights for many of those families that have called this home for generations. I just want to make sure that you all understand the efforts that need to be put in place to mitigate these measures. I did see a sample defined flight path in the packet, so I would encouraged that the flight paths will avoid unnecessary overflight of homes. I know in the past, this planning commission has looked at operational times, as well as noise and performance compliances under village codes to protect our property owners. And I would just encourage that ongoing community input be heard even after operations begin. And I do understand the groundwork has been laid for years, especially through the Chapter 54 rewrite of this being considered a principal permitted use. So I just hope that we can ensure safeguards are put in place so that this helicopter pad can improve emergency medical responses to our rural area and help enhance public safety. I'm really looking forward to a long-lasting value as we look forward, to the next 50, 100 years down the road, as we rebuild Ruidoso without sacrificing the character and livability of our neighborhoods that are still intact. And I do not believe that we need to choose between progress and preservation. We can have both, and we need to just continue to look at the rights and protections in place from day one, because I know once things are approved, it's harder to scale back. This is the kind of Lincoln County that I want my daughter to grow up in, forward-thinking, resilient, and respectful of the people in its history. Thank you all.
Hi, my name is Ellen Hughes. I'm a Ruidoso resident, a retired nurse of 46 years, mostly dedicated to the subject of critical care transport. First in Silver City, New Mexico, where I was able to assist with the implementation of helipad services that took away the need to go to Grant County Airport. Second, then in Las Cruces or Doñana County for similar activities. I am pro-patient. I am pro-positive outcomes. And the things that we were able to measure before and after the implementation of these emergency services showed that in especially cardiac and neurovascular as well as head injuries, patients were able to have far better outcomes, far fewer complications, and the mortality rates went down associated with patients who were critical care transports. I'm a member of the auxiliary, and I was aware of this as I was beginning my assignment, and I just was interested in being here today and to say those things. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your comment. Other comments? Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and close public comment if nobody else wants to. And we'll open it up to questions from the commissions for you gentlemen. Commissioners, what questions do you have for the applicants?
Mr. Chairman?
Go ahead, Vicki.
Todd, on the average, how many medevacs do we have in a month?
So it's roughly between 3 and 4 per month is what we typically see airbags that require. And some of those will still be required to go out to the airport. The reality is if they require fixed wing transport, we have no choice, of course, but to go out to the airport, and distance will require that. Helicopters have a certain range. Albuquerque's kind of pushing the distance a little bit for us. And Native Air can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but, so we do have a kind of a limitation on how far we can go, and if the transport needs to be beyond those things, then we'll have to look at a fixed wing. But about 3 to 4 is what we look at.
Will there be any fuel that is kept or stored on the site?
There will not. If the helicopter needs to fuel, they'll need to go out to the airport first, and then they can come into the new helipad.
Okay.
Piggybacking off that, where do most of the flights go now? Are they going down to Roswell, El Paso, Alamogordo, or all the way up to Albuquerque?
Most of them are either going to Alamogordo or Roswell. Some will go to Las Cruces, I think, which is where you'll see the majority. So, and some to El Paso, definitely.
Yeah.
Trauma.
Do you have an estimation on the amount of time it increases having somebody go from EMS to the fixed wing transporter to the airport to Las Cruces? Is it 30 minutes on average? You mentioned that.
Yeah, it'll be 30, and then, of course, you'll have to do the handoff out there at that point at the field, so it'll be a little bit beyond 30 minutes, so typically. Pretty much even if we go to the All-American Park, we're looking at about 30-minute situation there too, so.
I'm just curious, and it really doesn't have an effect on my opinion, but how many are nighttime versus daytime?
I don't think I know that. I could ask Sandy Nunley, might have a better feeling of that if you don't mind me calling her up. But,
It's not that.
Come on down. Thank you. What's your role, if you don't mind?
Hey, baby, I'm on my meeting.
Okay, thank you.
I can hear it,
So
man.
for timing,
Right.
it's all different times. I guess, maybe your traumas end up happening more in the evening, and weekends. So that tends to be where we may fly the patients out, usually critical to get to surgeons, but, it is all different times, actually. So, yeah, there is no big percentage either
Yeah.
way.
Okay.
Thank you.
So this may be for staff. From what Ms. Sarna was talking about, what is the closest house to this proposed pad? Do we know?
I didn't do any measurements.
I didn't know if it were.
No, let me see.
While she's looking at, is the flight plan proposed, it just said for reference only, is it gonna be taking off any other direction? Because it looks like it goes from the pad over the McDonald's and then off into the National Forest, is that?
It will vary. In our communications with all the helicopters, they need to land into the prevailing wind.
Okay.
So it really depends on what the prevailing wind is at the time. They'll dictate the flight path, or at least their initial direction, so.
For the landing and the takeoff, always in prevailing wind?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess my question would be, there's probably not any houses closer to this proposed pad than there would be at All-American Park. Is that be a general assumption, maybe?
I actually think there's houses closer at all.
At All-American?
Than this would be, so.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say approximately 400 feet would be the closest residence.
Okay.
Pretty far.
300 to 400 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you won't have to rely on any kind of ambulance or anything at that point, right? Just come right out of the hospital right to the
So
pad?
if you're familiar with the hospital design and what Anthony's team has done, we have what we call it the bridge. It's a rear exit out of the hospital. That's actually where we discharge our surgery patients and, from that. And the proposal is we'll build a walkway that will go straight across out that door. So we'll just come up from the ER, take them straight out there and go straight out to the health pad.
Has there been discussion about the future of Sutton Drive? I think there's only two entities there on Sutton Drive, the property owned by Presbyterian and then the church.
Right. We've kind of bounced that around even with the village a little bit, just back and forth about, should it be vacated or not vacated. I think if we continue with looking at development of the Nob Hill property for other potential projects down the line, we might make that request of the village to look at vacating that property. I've had a little bit of talk with members of the church and to see if there was concern. It doesn't sound like there's significant concern as long as they can access their property. But we don't have anything formal we're proposing on that.
And you said development of Sutton Drive, there is the potential of having other structures on that plot?
Yeah, potentially more down towards the southwest end of the lot. We would potentially look at development at some point. We honestly do not have a plan yet, but it's I can't remember how many acres it is, about a 7-acre lot. So there's some room down there towards the other end that's away from it. Anthony, do you have any comments on that, or?
No, that's about it. It's a 6-acre lot.
Okay.
Steph, is there code that says how many acres have to be dedicated to the helipad, or does it just say that one sentence in our code?
It just says the one sentence. Any additional development would require more hearings and site development approval. Failure to do that, it may not be compatible. So we'd have to address that in the future.
Are these helipads capable of like emergency landings? You know, we deal with the fires here all the time. If we've got an issue with a helicopter that's dropping water, can it land on that pad, or are you more limited in the size of the equipment that can actually land on that pad?
Yeah, it's a little more limited. They're designed by FAA guidelines, and they're specific to the helicopters that they'll be using to transport patients.
For medical transport and not necessarily anything else, so.
I, as an innuendo, just, the hospital I came from in Colorado, though we did land a Black Hawk on this side, they would land, because they would come once a year to our facility, and they would land on, Black Hawks land anywhere, frankly, and stuff, so, and they did land up there through the, I don't know if y'all are aware, so we had a Black Hawk stationed on this property, at the village's request, through a large portion of the, on and off through the flood.
I was thinking more of Marine One if it wanted to land.
I'm not sure, I don't know about that one, so.
I just thought I'd ask.
I appreciate it. Steph, can you comment on the use it says incidental to the hospital, or maybe you can comment, Alex? I know in your report said it's approved because it is an incidental use. I guess the question behind the question is like, do they need a replat? Does this need to be a part of the other property for use?
So a replat is unattainable. They do not physically own the property on which the hospital is done, so that's off the table completely. They were talked to during development review for the potential to vacate out the Sutton Drive, which would give the hospital portion a tract of that road, along with their portion that they own, part of that road, but that would require additional public hearings and all of that to go forward as well. But for the development of the actual helipad and the path coming from the hospital to the pad, all of that was reviewed, and the modifications were provided by the street department and the utilities department, as it would require the modification of one fire, not an extinguisher, I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank, and also a manhole.
Okay.
Yeah, that's mentioned in the impact statement, correct? Yeah, I see that.
So here's a question for the applicants then. The conditions state that the use is tied to the Lincoln County Medical Complex, which has a lease with Lincoln County, the entity. What happens if Presbyterian ends the lease with the hospital itself? They pull out. Presbyterian, the parent company, still owns this land and still has the helipad. What happens to the property then? Is it reverted at that point in time, or is it tied to the use of the medical facility? And that might be a question for you, that might be a question for staff. Like, are you tying it to the medical building, or are you tying it to the use that Presbyterian has of that medical building?
Well, I think, given that it is owned, the hospital property is owned by the county.
Yeah.
And Presbyterian is a private entity. I think there'd definitely be a interest, I mean, I can't speak for the county, but I would think the county would have an interest in having a conversation. I don't think Presbyterian's gonna turn over the property, their purchase and stuff. If you don't know how much it cost, it was a very expensive piece of property for Presbyterian to buy. I think that they would be more than willing to have a conversation with the county about them taking ownership of it, because at that time, I would assume Presbyterian would be looking to exit Ruidoso. I will tell you, just as a side note, we are about to enter into negotiations on a 20-year extension of the existing lease right now. And if that happens, and we assume it will, Presbyterian is going to request that. We're looking at 20 years before that question will need to be answered, so.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks for clarifying.
It's a good question.
Jacob, so the hospital is an actual use, so that's where the incidental part comes from. So if the use discontinues, and it's no longer a hospital there, then one of the proposed conditions is that the property be removed from the helipad and returned to the natural state.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Go ahead, Vicky.
I was wondering, we are talking about health, safety, and welfare. What are we doing? Is there a fence or is there a necessary fencing or something to prevent people from absentmindedly walking into that helipad when they shouldn't?
So there's.
We'll say accidentally.
That's an FAA requirement.
It is fenced in.
It is.
It's a short fence. It's about 3 feet tall.
That's okay.
But
Fine as the idea is passed on.
And does it go the full length around the helipad? It's hard to see in the plans.
Yes, it completely encloses the helipad, keeps somebody from just walking onto the pad or any sort of.
Driving on or, okay.
Okay.
Additional though to that, we would secure the helipad we're aware when flights will be coming in. We have a security now. I think everybody's aware of that. So, we would actually secure Sutton Street, and make sure that we don't have traffic going at the time that the helicopter's coming in and make sure that there's no one in potential danger when the helicopter lands or takes off.
Mr. Chairman, so given the protocol of, I don't know what's EMS or y'all, of making the ambulances run sirens from the time they leave the station or wherever, is the decibel level about the same on a siren for an ambulance as it would be for the helicopter? Do you know? I'm just saying, so, and I'm trying to, from what Mrs. Sarna was saying, so if a ambulance comes through the neighborhood with a siren going, is that going to be about the same decibel level as a helicopter flying over the top of the house? That's what I'm trying to get at, so we can say, well, it's.
To that, so I wish I knew the answer to that as well.
I know AM's typical, like a Wayland, will put off 110 to 135 decibels. I've been in that business a little bit, so I don't know what a helicopter does. And of course, it's going to depend on the helicopter too.
Yeah.
So.
Do you have a comment? I think you'd be the expert.
I don't know the actual decibels of the aircraft. I will say that Air Methods, Native Air, we operate EC-130s, which are the quietest of air medical helicopters out there. Our goal for the noise aspect of this is to take the safest route, as he stated, in and out via a headwind, right?
Sure.
It's the safest way for us to come in and out. Our other goal is to also avoid populated areas, houses and stuff like that. And we would work with the hospitals to ensure in the community to ensure that that's being done. Will there potentially be a variance outside of that? Absolutely, if it's the safest approach in and out of that helipad.
Right. Yeah, we do get winds, y'all know that, so.
Yeah, and there's canyons and stuff that we have to take into
Okay.
account right there.
Just I'm trying to curtail that. Well, it's louder than it should be. And if we say, well, it's the same as an ambulance, then you can kind of say, well, that's the give and the take.
All right.
I can't imagine it being much louder than the helicopters that were dropping water on the trees behind my house. So,
And if you're having a heart attack, you really don't care.
yeah.
Other questions about the site plan concept approval for the applicant? Any other thoughts?
I'd like to put in a comment. We have a great hospital facility out here. I would know because I've used it 3 weeks ago to have hip surgery again. So I'm looking more about the people that if you need to be air vac, it's got to be as close to the hospital as possible to make it worthwhile. And, time is of the essence. So I'm all for this. I think we really need it, and it'll move us up in a higher echelon. You know, we'll be able to get people moving a lot quicker, maybe to somewhere where they have a specialty that they need. But I'm all for this, and I think they're doing a great job.
Thanks, Ron.
Can I just add one more thing? Because I know this came up during the meeting with the village staff, and I think it should be on the record. So many people know that the Nob Hill property has at least had a perception that there's an archaeological issue on that piece of property and stuff. There was a study that the school conducted in conjunction with Mescalero. It's probably about 12 years old now. I have had a conversation, or at least communication, from Holly Howden, who is over the Mescalero Historical Preservation. She has no concern with this plan. The reality is where we're building this at is about where the Head Start building used to be. The soil's disturbed already, and so anyway, just so y'all know that too, that we have checked with the Mescalero Historical Preservation too.
And there doesn't have to be heavy excavation with the site plan here? You don't have to drop it 10, 15, 20 feet down?
In fact, we're coming up a little.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for the comment, Ron. Other comments?
Sure.
Ready?
There we go. And do it.
Anybody can do that. It doesn't have
Oh,
to be
Mr.
Bill.
Chairman, based upon the foregoing findings, effect 54-100, 54-85, and 54-70 of the Village Code, I move to grant the requested site development plan for case SP 2025-166 with the conditions stated in the case report.
Second.
Second.
I got a motion in 3 seconds.
Second.
Just one point of discussion before we go into voting. I want to echo a lot of the comments that Ron made about needing the medical evac in this community and having it as near and close as possible. And it sounds like this group has tried to address any issues in the surrounding community as best they can with flight plans, with it's already impacting our neighbors in the Downs. So I think that's my comment that I'll add in the discussion before we go into voting.
It's in an area you're not likely to flood.
Yeah. Other discussion before we go into roll call?
No, sir.
Okay. Stephanie?
Commissioner Byers?
Aye.
Commissioner Hall?
Aye.
Commissioner McElina?
Aye.
Commissioner Richardson?
Aye.
Commissioner Rigsby?
Aye.
Commissioner Williams?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Great. Thank you all. Thank you for your time. And thank you for the public comments.
Okay.
It'll take 15 days before he gets
All right. We are moving out of our quasi judicial into old business, which is a public hearing because it's a recommendation for amendment. This is a continuation of the discussion we had a couple months ago. This is an ordinance change. Alex, why don't you give us an overview and then we'll get into the public hearing.
Certainly. So this is a proposed amendment to the development standards for the architectural design standards contained within Chapter 54, specifically in regard to metal as an exterior building material. Would note that there
you wanna
were.
just pause
Yeah,
for a
we'll just
second?
pause a second.
This is interesting stuff too, as well, if you guys want to stick around.
I really like it.
It's important.
Put a lot of work in it.
Yeah.
Stay if you'd like.
No, it's okay.
It's okay. We'll get our feelings hurt. We see what you're here for.
Was there doubt?
Oh, that's lovely. Walgreens is closed, the pharmacy.
Okay, let's try it again, Alex.
All right, so this action is a result of work from a subcommittee of the Planning Commission in meeting with the Midtown Association, Chamber of Commerce, as well as members of the Board of Realtors and the Home Builders Association, other interested parties in 2 recent meetings, as well as several internal meetings with the subcommittee there. What this proposed ordinance would do, it would provide for a a ratio of metal that would be allowed to be exposed, and then also require a more natural material or a siding of hardy plank or cementitious siding or vinyl. In there would also require a minimum gauge of 26 or greater for the metal siding, and then lastly would clarify that V-rib and corrugated siding would not be prohibited. The current standard that is in the code would allow for the planning administrator, the planning staff, to approve metal as an exterior building material as whether it's characteristic of building types in the area. And so we are asking for some more specificity in that regard, as well as because of not only the recent fires and floods here in the village that are adding the number of homes that could be constructed here in the village, but also regional national trends toward building structures out of metal. And with that, I would then allow for the subcommittee members to add anything additional in there that I may not have covered, and would go
I
from
think
there.
we'll pause and get their feedback, and then let's do public comment, because I know that there's a few folks that want to comment on this item.
Mr. Chairman?
One second, Commissioner Williams. We'll hear from the subcommittee after we close public comment. Does that work?
Yeah.
Okay. Public comment.
Thank you, gentlemen. I'm Wendell Ostwick with My Metal, Ruidoso. I talked to a lot of people, as I know you guys do. And I first want to say I appreciate your efforts. I've sat in your chairs before, and ordinances are one of the hardest things to come up with, is to please and do what's best for the community. So I totally appreciate where you guys are sitting. Been there, done that. So having said that, I've been speaking to some people and telling them kind of where we were headed and what we were doing. And I was asked to share some information with you guys, because the more information you have, the better decision you can make. And so I run some numbers. Right now, a wood wainscot, I don't know how many of you seen our building on Gavilan. That's going to run about $43 a square foot to put those stones on a wainscot. Our wood grain, which is on the top of the building, runs $2.50 a square foot. A wood wainscot, like a lap board or batten board or something like that, is going to be about $22 a square foot. These are numbers from contractors that I'm giving you. A stucco wainscot is going to run you $12 to $16. So, and the reason I give you those numbers is you can see what the requirements whenever you, and it comes back. I had another question of a customer says, okay, we're going to have to build it all the way around. What if I put up an 8-foot fence and you can't see my wainscot, or you can't see my building? Do I still have to put a wainscot on it? I don't know. So those are some questions. I want you guys to know what the public's asking out there and what you're doing whenever you say you had to put so much on a building. So whether they had to spend 40 or whatever, so.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your comment.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Any other public comments? Okay, we'll go ahead and close public comment, and now we'll go into commissioner discussion, including the comments from the subcommittee. Commissioner Williams, I think you indicated that you wanted to make a comment.
As always. I think in reading this on page 58 of 90, 3, sub-number or sub-letter B, it says metal siding must be a gauge of 26 or greater. What we really mean is 26 or thicker, because the higher the number, the thinner the metal, right?
Yes.
So could we change that to thicker, or if you have another alternative idea that would, again, represent what we truly want?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things you could do is just, when you say that a gauge of 26 or greater, everybody's trained to understand, oh, bigger numbers are better. But even if you just put in parentheses and let's go like, i.e. 18 gauge is thicker than 26 gauge, they put a specific, just example there, there's no doubt, there's no.
You say 26 gauge or less, then
Heavier. Yeah, and if you want greater, I mean, just to give the
heavier,
example
thicker, less, however you want
of what
to
the
take that
thicker,
gauge.
yeah, just
I
give the
agree with her.
example.
Greater is a little ambiguous. Heavier, thicker.
I think, and if you state a heavier gauge, that is, because a heavier gauge, like a gauge 18,
That sounds good.
you know, is something that, you know, that's, okay, now they're looking, when you read it, you go greater than gauge, but you give them an example and say, hey, gauge 18 is thicker than gauge 26, rather than just saying thicker or greater. I mean, make it that cut and dry, because we know how interpretation goes with one or two words, so. you know,
Right.
It just adds clarity to it. I mean, that would be my suggestion for the clarity, is just give an example of a gauge that's with a gauge number under 26, and have that right there, so there's no doubt.
18 is greater than 26.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Vicki. Any other comments?
Mr. Chairman, to address what we just heard on the, we kind of talked this over and over and over again, whether everyone's heard it or not. First off, the walls, we've kind of talked about it being all the way around the building or not, but the fact of the matter is if we don't enforce it all the way around the whole building, then it becomes an issue if it's a vacant lot behind the house at that point. And then somewhere down the line, it becomes occupied lot built upon, then the back of that building is just a metal barn. So we've said it time and time again, it's got to be all the way around the building. And another thing, I know my metal is wanting to try to use their printed materials, whether it's wood or rock or whatever they're trying to implement, and I applaud their efforts. The fact of the matter is that they've got this printed material, and it hasn't been on the market long enough to warrant the, say, 20-year warranty that they have on the material as of yet, because it hasn't been out that long. Not like a painted material. We know that's been around a long time. So the only thing I would see with that is if we allowed that, and in 5 years from now, the UV that we have here on this mountain, that we know is very destructive at times, if that material came off and it became a shiny metal building on that 30% around the bottom of the building, and I'm not saying it will, I'm just saying if it did, since we don't have any proof it is good for 20 years, then as a village, we would have a little harder time going back to the homeowner and saying, well, now you've got to do something with that. And they would say, well, I was compliant when we built the building. Why should I have to do something now? So, I mean, that was our concern on this printed material.
So are you recommending then, Josh, your 2 cents, to say up to 70% and then just strike which is printed to resemble, or?
Well, I mean, that's what we have to discuss. Do we want to allow that or not? Because again, it doesn't have, this product they have has not been out on the market long enough to warrant
Removing specific products aside, it's what aesthetic do we want? Like, is it okay to have any?
Do we want to go down that road?
Right.
Do we want to go down the road and then 10 years from now it become a shiny metal and then?
Right.
And then us have to go back and try to require homeowner to become compliant if they were in the beginning.
This was discussed on the subcommittee?
Yes.
What was the outcome of the subcommittee or the thoughts? Was it this language that was submitted, or were you guys?
Yes, I mean, we've beat this up time and time again. We need to hash that out and put it to rest.
I think it was something we felt, bring it to the larger board to help with the guidance,
Decision, yeah.
to help with the decision. And my only other change was, looking at 1/3, 2/3, breaking up instead of 70/30, 33% and 67%. And that's strictly from an artistic point of view when you're looking at buildings and looking at that. Same thing with photography. I mean, it's from an artist
So-
friend of mine.
Can I ask a clarifying question then for Alex? This came back to the committee after we got all this feedback, but this is the same language that we looked at a month ago. There have been no changes, correct?
There have been changes.
Okay. And so the items that you're bringing up, the 70%, 30%, was that discussed in the subcommittee?
Yes. Yes.
And this is the number you came up with, or are you guys suggesting a different one?
No, I mean, I think we were,
Wanting to bring it to the,
Okay.
to the broader board to get the final decision.
because we started out at 40 and then we came down to 30.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman?
Yeah.
I think if we're going to say, well, we're going to do 70/30 because it's an aesthetic value of 1/3 to 2/3 and so on and so forth. But then, oh, hey, you can use part of that 30% and knock it down to 20% by wrapping your columns and putting some shutters on. I don't think those should be included. If we're really doing this for aesthetics, and that's why we broke it up that way, as well as the cost factor, I would lean to 1/3, 2/3.
Okay. And are you suggesting striking that last one, the 30% ratio can consider column wrap shutters or other similar applications?
That's correct.
The problem I have with striking the shutter and the wraps and the eaves is and these men from My Metal brought this up before too, if you have a 20-foot wall in the back or on the side or whatever the case may be, then you've got a lot of rock or wainscoting or something to put up the side of the building to meet the 30%. So that's why we were talking of incorporating a shutter or a column wrap or maybe even your fascia board on your eaves. Just because you didn't really want to have a 3 foot of rock around, and then when it got to the back and you had a 20-foot wall, then the rock would have to go up high all the way across, back down to incorporate that 30%. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So if we did away with the shutters and the column wraps and the fascia board, then you're going to require that wainscoting to be a big wainscoting on a tall wall to get that 30%. That would be an ugly wall when you got done. I mean, literally, it would be a very ugly wall.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay. So there still is a question that we need to discuss on that one, that last part of the sentence. So what other things should we discuss in detail? And then we're going to go point by point to discuss it. We're going to vote on it. We're going to move through it, and then we'll vote on the whole thing. But I want all the discussion points on the changes before we go point by point.
Mr. Chairman?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think when you say that it has to be a 70 to 30% ratio, that doesn't mean that all of that has to go on one side or the other. In other words, you may decide to put 40% on the front and to 20%, you know what I mean, on each side as opposed to carrying it high on the wall.
So your point is letter C, a mixed metal ratio for all exterior walls? That's what you want to discuss?
Yeah, as a
All
total.
or total?
Each wall or all walls?
I think it
No.
needs to be each wall, and the reason why I say
From
that.
all-
Okay, well, let's,
Oh, hold up. Okay.
before we get into that discussion point, other items, because then we're going to go line by line and discuss each point.
Right.
Any other items that you guys, or language that you would like to?
I think
And are windows included in that, doors and windows?
No.
Okay. All right, then let's start with the first suggestion that Vicky suggested, which is 3B, metal siding must be a gauge of 26. It was suggested that we strike or greater and change it to or heavier, parentheses, i.e. 18.
Greater than 26.
Right.
Yeah.
Any other discussion on that?
No, it clarifies it. It leaves no room for, oh, well, I thought
Takes the
28
headache
was
away from the
greater,
staff.
49 was greater, I mean, that's.
Okay. Ron, are you good with that?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so that one we've talked about, and I think we're all on board with. Anybody opposed? Okay.
So you want it to read how?
We'll get to that at the
Oh,
end.
okay.
Because I think we're going to make changes throughout, and so then we'll go line by line and tell the changes, if that works. Let's go to C, a mixed metal ratio of all exterior walls. The question, is it all, is it each? Is it square footage times whatever number we decide on?
Well, and I think the reasoning for each is because, here we go again. If you, just say if you rock the whole front wall and your side walls, then that would be enough to say, I don't have to do it on the back. And then again,
Right.
you've got a metal wall on the back that just killed what we talked about on all walls having something. So if we allow that verbiage, it will sure enough make a big enough loophole where people will say, I don't have to put rock on that wall. I've got my maximum 30% on the other walls.
That's why we said all,
All.
because it's an
That's what I
aesthetic
do.
thing.
Yes. Yeah, just knock it out in one spot. But no, I mean, and
But that really makes it strange if you have differing heights in your walls.
Yeah, different wainscot heights.
But yeah, we're trying to keep the metal warehouse district out of Ruidoso
Yeah.
in the residential area. So if we allowed that.
All areas.
Yeah, all areas. But if we allowed that kind of verbiage, it would make a metal wall in the back of the building.
Well, and truth be told, you're not going to have a lot of buildings that have 3 walls and then 1 odd wall.
You should be surprised that throughout all of our commercial district, they're all pretty in the front, and then not that metal can't be pretty, but, and then metal on the back. There's multiple instances of that. So I do think it'll happen more than not, because it's cheap.
Yeah.
Do we need to go back to any wall that can be visualized by the public?
No,
All walls.
all walls.
Or,
It's
I
all
think we're
walls.
getting strong feedback from at least 2 folks that it's all the walls.
Yeah.
What's your
Okay.
opinion?
Well, I agree, although I can see exceptions, because I know they're about to tear down the mall, and when they rebuild that, the college, that backside there, nobody can see it ever, and you have to drive to it, and it's just a little hallway, and I can see that being an exception, but,
Would they be able to ask for a variance at that point?
I'm sorry,
Would they be able to come before us and ask for a variance on that?
is there allowance for a variance?
I would think, isn't that part of just the standard code, Alex, if you would come to ask for a variance? I mean, that's.
So I think for better, for worse, it would actually end up being an appeal of a staff administrative decision. But it's the functionality of being able to come before this commission and ask for a different, for an allowance for something different.
While we're on that logistical comment, can you clarify, you guys collect all siding materials during building permit phase, right? Like you have to say, this is the site, this is what it's gonna look like regardless of where they're building. Okay. Just wanted to clarify that we already have a process for this.
Yeah, if there's a process where they can come to, like I said, to appeal a staff decision, then it comes to us as a variance, then that's just normal. That's what we do from that standpoint. If it is an odd, like you say, an odd building, something like that, but most buildings aren't odd,
True, and that's what I say, it's a rare exception, but there are rare
we have 'em.
exceptions, and if we had some vehicle or means to be able to address those, I'm good with it.
And I think that's what Alex was telling us.
I think, let's start with all, in my opinion, and then we'll see how many people come in and try to do variance is an exception.
Yes.
Okay.
Good, yes.
Are you okay with that, Ron, Vicky?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're good with all. Let's circle back later on the percentages, because I think we'll have a lot of discussion there. Well, I guess where I was going to go next was the 30% can consider column wrap, shutters, or other applications. How do we want to do the calculation? Is the thought, you take the exterior square footage and you times that by whatever percentage we determine, and then that's the amount
Square
per.
footage.
You take your square footage of all your vertical walls and then divide it by 30%.
No, these ratios aren't a mandate as far as if you're going to use metal. It is a maximum ratio, right? I mean, you can use.
You can use 60%.
Different ratio of metal.
It has to be at least 30%
Non-metal.
non-metal. whether
Right,
it's-
but you could have, you know, a great 40% or 50% non-metal. That's
Right.
what I'm
Yes,
saying.
yes, it can be greater, just not
Or
less.
greater.
Not less than 30%.
I personally, well, I'm going to speak out of both sides of my mouth for a second, so give me a second.
It's okay.
The ordinance above says any metal siding on structures. Siding, in my opinion, doesn't count towards columns or shutters or any other similar application. I think it's just the wall.
I see what you're saying.
That's right.
I see what you're saying, yeah.
So I don't think the column wrap, shutters, or similar applications can be added to the
30%.
whatever percentage we decide on.
Total.
I see. Yeah, because you're talking about the actual side of the building.
Right.
Mhm.
I see what you're saying.
But how would we, again, going back to that 20-foot tall wall, that's going to make.
Right. And that's why I'm talking out both sides of my mouth, because that makes sense, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because if you do it as a wall-by-wall ratio, it doesn't make sense. The other way you can do that 20-foot wall is, you know, it has to be in aggregate 30%, but. Because you could do a 5-foot across all four sides that gets that 20-foot averaged out. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but how would you keep that from being misconstrued on, and just having 3 walls and 1 wall not covered at all?
Yeah.
Or 2 walls and 2 walls not covered at all?
That's the question. I mean, it does say it has to be a mixed material ratio of all walls, so I don't know if that would carry it for us.
Yeah.
Like, you have to have something on every single wall.
Yeah, just because we didn't want anyone looking out their back door and seeing a metal building behind their house. I mean, not that you might not even be able to see that 3 foot of rock on the bottom of their house if there's a 6-foot fence.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, it's, I guess we have to set a standard somewhere, I don't know.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a corner, corner lot or whatever.
I do think we should strike the column wraps, shutters. That would be my 2 cents.
It
And just
just
say it's
gets
walls.
too confusing.
Yeah.
Too many.
Do it.
Because then we'd have to calculate, all right, well, you have 20 square foot of columns that are wrapped in brick, but.
It's just a mathematical equation.
Right.
It's not bad. I'm a numbers guy, so it sounds easy. I
I've always said that about you. Like, Josh,
don't
he's a
look
numbers
like
guy,
it.
so
I
he's
know
a
I don't
numbers
look like it, but I really am.
There must be software or something that can solve that problem.
Probably.
Yeah, no, I struggle with it because it does add another complexity to figuring that out on each plan review. But I don't know, is that a more complex plan review worth it, or just not have the language there and make it easier to administer? That's what I'm struggling with. Because if it's just a percentage of the wall, that's pretty easy. That makes it easy to go through things, get things approved. If you're dealing with column wraps and then shutters and all that, and then you've got all of that, and then, of course, you get to the point too, then you get, the other part of all of this stuff is then what do you get to on the enforcement side of it? They decide, I don't want to put the shutters on now.
Yeah.
And then, oh, I don't want to wrap the columns, so what's the, you know?
I don't think they would get a CO with it at that point.
Well, I mean,
So,
yeah, but that's the, do you
Well,
want
put
to
the
add that
shutters
other
up, and
level
5
of,
years later, somebody buys it and takes them down.
Yeah.
It's,
you know, and do you want to add that complexity to it? I don't know. I'm more for making it simpler and easier to administer, because if it's just a
Yeah.
percentage of the wall,
yeah,
that's easy to measure.
it is.
And that's easy to, you know, when it goes through building inspections and all that, and go, okay, we got this, and it's it, yep, it's there. It's then but if you've got different columns and different column sizes and shutters and all that sort of
Yeah.
stuff, the shutters vary, all that sorts, you've got to go physically measure those. I mean, you can have them on the plan. I mean, most of us here have been through plans and as-builts, and as-builts don't often match plans, and that's where I don't want to get necessarily into another level of now you got to go play,
It's fine.
you know, code enforcement because
Brown
the code
sausage
is more
and dice up
complex. I don't think it has to be that
onion
complex.
and cabbage.
Hey, Ron, mind going on mute?
What's that?
Do you mind going on mute?
I know.
I'm in
know-
agreement with simplicity is probably
Yeah, just the wall.
just the wall. Ron, Vicky, any issue with just striking that last sentence in the proposed language?
No. No, well, no. The only other one that I would address would be, there's a mention of vinyl in here.
Yeah.
And I think that many of the very older houses that were built here, some of them have that corrugated vinyl put up as siding of some sort, and I would hate to get into that. I'm not sure what we're talking about, vinyl as a siding or as an alternative to the metal. What kind of vinyl is that we're,
There's siding approved vinyl.
There's already siding that is vinyl that's approved.
it is, it's out there?
Stephanie's nodding her head, I don't know. Yes.
Thank you, Stephanie.
So no changes there then, Vicky, since that's already an approved siding material?
Yeah, that's great.
Okay. So then the last question we need to discuss is the percentages. And the 70 versus 70/30, this is, what was the discussion like at the subcommittee?
so it's like if it was a 10-foot wall, the 30% would more or less like, typically, it depends on the size of the window, but 30% would leave it below the window, so you wouldn't have to case the window and all that. So we started out at 40. My metal said they typically, see 30%, so we acknowledge that. So it would just be a little easier, a little better cost effectiveness too, than have to have a stonemason or whatever cut around the window. They can just go right on it and keep going. So, I mean, because he did bring up the, difference in cost on products.
Yeah.
Materials. So,
Can I ask something? Is it less expensive to build with metal siding than wood siding or other conventional forms?
Based off of the public comment, Vicky, that's what we got. I don't know, Bart, you've been in the building game, if you can comment.
Yes.
it is. Typically,
Typically it is, Vicky.
it's a lot
expensive.
faster application.
So, you're getting a break on one side and then you're complaining that it is got to look nice on all sides and that's too expensive. I don't quite understand that concept that it would be too expensive when you otherwise would have to put the whole side of that building, all four sides,
Right now,
to a more expensive form of material.
yeah, 'cause
So,
under the current code, that is what Vicky's saying correct, is that, yeah, you don't have the metal building all completely 100% metal. Is that what she's?
We
Is that
don't
what-
allow
Is that
that.
what you're getting at, Vicky? Is that the current code
We don't allow metal buildings.
don't allow it?
they don't allow it at all now.
Yeah.
What I'm getting at is, whether it's 33% or 30% or 40% of the total square footage of the walls, I would say you can't really complain about the cost because you're already getting a break by having 70% of the side metal,
Yeah.
right?
True.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, versus a completely stucco wall versus a combination of
Right,
stucco and metal. Yeah,
completely wood
Yeah,
wall
you're
from rock.
yeah, it does lower the overall cost if, yeah.
So Vicky, would you change the percentage from 70 down to 60% for metal?
Well, if we're cutting at 30 and, what is it? It'd be 33.333 and 66.66666, right percentage if you're doing it 1/3 and 2/3.
And I think
And-
the up to 70 allows us to do 2/3, 1/3.
Right, that's fine.
It's easier to figure the 30.
Okay, so
Because
70, 30.
it says up to seven, okay.
Up to 70%, so you can do the 66.6 and 33.3.
If that makes
Right.
sense for.
Right, if that's easier, whatever.
Okay,
is
so no
easier.
changes on the 70%, 30%, it sounds like from the board.
Yeah.
Okay. Other comments? Okay, so Steph, I think the way that it's supposed to read right now, and I'll hear from the group, the planning administrator shall approve exposed metal siding on all structures in all districts when meeting the following requirements. On manufactured homes, that has not been changed, point A has not been changed. B, metal siding must be a gauge of 26 or heavier, i.e. 18. And mixed material ratio of all exterior walls, that's the same, up to 70% metal. And then we gotta talk about printed versus painted. Like, do we want to eliminate that? Let's put a pin in that.
The
But that,
printed,
what's that, Vicky?
well, the printed isn't really printed, it's a vinyl wrap that they adhese to the metal, is that correct?
There's different options within the market. The folks that we've talked with in the past, they have a material that actually is bonded onto that. There is vinyl wraps out there. There is just painted. So there's multiple different ones. It's not,
Right,
we're not talking about one type of metal or one print. So that's why I think we should, I don't know if we need to remove printed, is my question. Like, if I get painted vinyl, or painted, not vinyl, if I get painted metal, is that something that we want? Does it have to be bonded in a certain way?
there is metal paint, I mean, you guys know that, you're contractors. So I was concerned about the printed, bonded material on top of the metal. And so I spoke with one of the guys that was here, and he said if it does come off, you can paint, but you'd have to then remove all of the vinyl, because it doesn't come off in a sheet usually. It peels off in chips and pieces, as you know.
Well, if we allow that, then you're back to 100% metal building. If you paint it,
Yeah.
and you got painted metal all the way top to bottom again. If the coating came off, I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I still say that on C, a mixed material ratio of each exterior wall as opposed to all is inclusive. I think you're going to get pushback on the, well, we did 3 and then, just like he was talking about earlier, each wall has to be, right?
That would look really strange, wouldn't it?
That's what
I mean,
you
if you
want?
had a
Each wall
4-foot
needs to be a
grease coating
70-30
in the front.
ratio, not
One second,
all
Vicky, sorry,
walls.
we're still,
Because if you say all walls are going to do what,
I think it was all walls, because we want it on every single one.
each
front.
and all,
Each and every.
each and every wall,
Of each and every wall?
yes.
Exterior.
That's a little more, because I still think you're leaving the door open for argument of all walls. It's a ratio of all walls combined, is what that sounds like.
I see what you're
And
saying.
I
That was
can
one
do
of my-
3 walls and meet my ratio and not the 4th.
Okay, so Stephanie, taking a step back,
Yeah.
a mixed material ratio of,
All and
And
every wall.
yeah.
Exterior wall.
And if Zach has better language, I mean, we want it on every single one.
Right.
Yeah, because I got that note from when we had the last,
Yeah.
one of our last meetings here, and that was one of the, I think, realtors,
Yeah, they
Pulled
were
it.
saying that they didn't like it wasn't as clear as all walls.
all or every wall. You know, whether you change it to a mixed ratio of all and every exterior wall.
But I think it is each and every, because all is the aggregate square footage
Yeah.
versus you do 4 calculations if it's a
Yeah.
4-sided home.
And that's why or you change that to every exterior wall.
Yeah.
Whatever
Okay.
language works better for Zach would be my,
Yeah, as long as every wall is,
Right.
yeah.
And then let's go back to C1. I think we're good on the 70% ratio, but like, I do want to know what finishes on this metal can be. Can I go buy, like, I have a burnished slate metal on my roof. Can I go get burnished slate? I don't think that's, I don't know if it's a printed,
The enameled part.
the enameled,
Enamel gel.
but is there different ways to enamel it? Or is that inclusive? Are we good with printed is my question.
I think it
No.
can be printed or it can be enameled. There are different ways.
Okay. But it sounds like everybody's good with printed. We want to have printed in the ordinance.
We do?
The reason why I brought that up earlier was because they said, these men have said they don't have concrete evidence. It will last 20 years. It has a 20-year warranty on it, but it's not been out for 20 years. So the only, like I said before, the only concern I would have is allowing it would be within 5 years if the material started to flake off, like Vicky was saying.
Yeah.
And then it became a shiny metal, and then they painted it. Now we've got a 100% metal building again. But they were compliant at the time of construction. Now, how do we go back and try to make that homeowner compliant again after they've already been compliant the first time? That would be hard to do. Then we've got a metal building in the village.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm following the 100%. I mean, the ratio is still the ratio.
The ratio is the ratio, but if you had a 30% printed material, is what I'm saying, if you use, because they do have some very aesthetically pleasing material that looks like wood or rock or whatever, but that
Oh,
coating is.
no, sorry, we should clarify. The 70% is just metal.
Metal.
Entity, and then the 30% has to be something else. It could be wood, it could be.
Right.
So not printed.
Like a rock.
Not printed metal. Is that what you're saying there?
Yeah, I'm talking about.
70% of printed metal not living up to.
Oh, and yeah, no, the 70, yeah. If it's 70% metal, it's metal.
Right.
Whether it's printed or whatever.
Right.
How about we just change the word to up to 70% metal, which is treated to resemble wood, stone, or colored enamel? Because the treatments, they may change 5 years from now. And rather than just saying painted
Or printed, or.
just say treated to resemble it, and that leaves you open to somebody.
You could say, you could say looks. I don't, we just want it to look like that, right? We want it to look like wood,
Which
stone,
resembles
or colored. What's that, Vicky?
70% metal, which resembles wood or stone or colored enamel.
I think if it's metal, it's metal.
Vintage.
I'm good with that. I think we're saying we can't have bare aluminum colored metal.
Right.
Does that make, like, it
Yeah.
has to be
We don't want
colored. in some way.
galvanized. We don't want to galvanize.
Yeah.
We talked about that in the past too, so.
There's not a good example we can point to here because we don't have any, but yeah, there has to be some coloring, or I think resemble wood, stone, or colored enamel covers that. I think that
Okay,
works.
so to just get rid of the printed and
Uh-huh,
Right.
which resembles.
Which resembles.
yeah.
Right.
Because that leaves you open to any, if you've got a technology, whether it be powder coating it, whether it be painting it, whether it be
And that's changing all the time.
epoxy, you know.
3D printing it, you know, who
3D.
knows?
Oh, gosh, wow.
Who knows? All right, I'm good with that. It's got to, that, and that's the key.
Cleans up the language. That way it doesn't limit it to just one technology or one vendor or anything like that. And that's always That's always something that I'd be concerned with. Okay, I like that language. Thanks, Vicky.
Thanks, Vicky. Good job. All right. Any other comments on the rest of it? Any other changes that we want to make? All right, Steph, do you want to read it back, what we have right now, and then we can entertain a motion?
Okay.
And then we can kick the can down the road to the council. Make them.
Shows the planning administrator shall approve exposed metal siding on structures in all districts when meeting the following requirements. A, on manufactured homes within appropriate residential districts as permitted by this code. Or B, metal siding must be a gauge of 26 or heavier, i.e. 18. C, a mixed material ratio of each and every exterior wall of 1 up to 70% metal, which resembles wood or stone or colored enamel, and number 2, no less than 30% ratio of other materials such as rock, stucco, wood, cementous siding, vinyl, or brick. The 30% ratio can consider column wrap, shutters, or other similar applications.
We struck that.
We struck the
We
last
struck
sentence.
that, yeah.
Okay, we didn't discuss that when we were making the changes, so.
Gotcha. Yep, sorry. Yeah, we struck the last sentence
Okay.
because it's the walls that we care about.
Yeah,
Yep.
and that's the easiest to
Okay.
monitor, administer.
The other added language we haven't talked about, and then maybe we can entertain a motion or we can vote on it. All V-ribbed and corrugated siding types shall be prohibited. What did the committee think about adding that line? This is above metal siding to,
Yeah.
you guys are good with adding that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds good then. Is there any other discussion before we entertain a motion?
Where was that line?
That was 2.
It's C2 up above. We deleted all that stuff.
That was just to keep like the cheap corrugated metal from Home Depot and the galvanized cheap stuff.
Are you still not
Showing it.
allowing the rusted metal?
Mm-hmm.
It has to be
It has to
enameled
be
or
printed, just because it was going to, we were trying to, come on, Bart.
you can always bring it back.
Have you gotten out of root also?
Believe it or not, I got out once. Well, it opens a door, a big
I
door.
really think you're missing the boat there, but
Do you think that all V,
I have seen so much really good-looking rusted metal look up in Colorado.
Yeah.
It's like, man, that's sharp.
but I don't think that that's V-rib or corrugated, is it?
It is corrugated.
Okay, so you would
It's a
say,
heavier corrugated steel. It's kind of like going up to Alto, the guardrail is rusted. You know, instead of having a galvanized guardrail, it's,
so you're in favor of striking all V-rib and corrugated sidings and just being reliant on the gauge of metal? Because I can have an 18 gauge V-rib or corrugated siding that would look
I'm
nice.
good with corrugated. It's, here again, it is an architectural
So, would you just,
design that it's, and I know what people are wanting to get away from. It's that junky just,
yeah, would you want to just put in there no galvanized instead? Just prohibit galvanized?
I would be better with that. I mean,
So it's
what
not,
the irony is that I've got a shop that I've used a metal or a corrugated galvanized wainscot on, and it looks sharp. It looks very sharp.
It's Pandora's
But I
box.
live outside the village limits, so,
You live in the county, right?
yeah,
Not our problem.
by about this much.
That's enough.
I'm on the line, yes.
so you're in favor of just striking 2, not adding 2? C2.
Or do you want it just to say,
Just,
I want corrugated metal to be allowed, but it doesn't, I'm willing to concede galvanized. I think the rusted corrugated metal is,
I'm with you on that, Bart, because of the roof they put on Lowe's. That was a steel metal, a bare metal that rusted now, and it's aesthetically pleasing.
And it's a heavy gauge.
It's a roof, of course.
Yeah, but if you do that in strategic locations, it could look nice. The difference being is that if I remember your shop, it's just the wainscoting that's rusted, not the full thing.
Yeah.
So is that what you would prefer, that you can use, I mean, now we're getting really specific, but
It is, and here again, it's an architectural design that it's, but I just hate to shut the door on creativity that looks good. And here, I wish I could had illustrations of places I've seen in Gunnison and Cresta Butte.
But they're never the
places
primary,
like
they're
that.
not usually the primary. The rusted metal is not usually the primary material. It's usually a wainscot, isn't it?
Typically, it is a wainscot, but it's incorporated in the whole design, yes.
Okay. I guess the question is, do we just outright remove the corrugated siding?
I say you outright remove the galvanized, because that's the
Okay.
part that people are really trying to stay away from, is that,
Chicken house.
Yeah.
that,
Yeah, I don't want, I don't think
And
anybody
here
wants
again, if
7
you-
foot of chicken house.
because the typical corrugated tin is of a thin gauge, and if it doesn't meet that gauge, it's out anyways. You know, the stuff that you get down at Lowe's and Home Depot and stuff for, like you said, the chicken house kind of thing is, it's of a thin gauge. It wouldn't meet the,
Yeah, we want to prevent poorly used materials as
Right.
siding, not necessarily dictate what they look like, right?
yeah.
Okay, so do we remove 2? I think, Steph, can you talk about why 2 was added, just to get rid of the chicken coop, for lack of a better descriptor, metal? Is that why we added that one?
So it was already actually there. I just, because it read it in the 2I, BI, on residence and accessory structures except that raised rib metal, V-rib metal, R-panel siding types are prohibited. We just put that V-rib and corrugated back on there because it's been prohibited in the past.
Okay, but I think we're trying to,
Yeah, and the reason why it was just written different is because there are different types of ribs, like the U channels and stuff like that, that are siding appropriate. So we tried to put it closer to just those 2. But we could put all galvanized siding types shall be prohibited.
I think I'm good with that. Are you good with that?
Sounds better.
Yeah.
All
You good with
Because we didn't really,
galvanized siding?
we never prohibited galvanized in the code anyway. So that would be good to.
Okay.
I think that was just kind of implied when you got no metal.
Yeah.
Public comments closed, I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead,
Can I-
Vicki.
When we say galvanized, does that then prohibit any shiny type metal from being put up as a siding? Meaning,
Yeah, it has to be
Silver,
colored enameled.
I'm sorry?
It has to be colored enameled the way that we've written it before.
Okay.
Okay, well,
Yep.
just another thought, if you leave the language in there, you still got the possibility if it's denied by the staff and they could bring it to get a variance.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's always the
why,
option.
you know, that's the other thing I'm looking at there. That keeps the process relatively streamlined. Then you don't have to start figuring out, is it galvanized, or not? That's just my 2 cents worth.
Okay, so what are the thoughts from the group then? It seems like most folks are okay with removing galvanized siding and then shall use the rest of the process for determining if we're happy with it.
So remove number 2 completely and then change 3 to 2?
I think that's the plan.
We don't want all galvanized siding types shall be prohibited.
Yeah, sorry, you're right, Vicki. We talked about having all galvanized siding types prohibited.
So that's the replacement for 2?
That's the replacement for 2 as of now.
This is a municipal building in Creed.
That's better language.
Yeah.
It's corrugated, it's not galvanized. So, yeah.
No, but it's corrugated.
We got rid of
Yeah, we got rid
corrugated.
of corrugated.
You won the argument.
You're good, you win.
I get corrugated.
You won.
You won.
You won. Yeah, see, I like that a lot, yeah. But now we're just getting rid of
What we're
galvanized.
saying is
Just on the
corrugated,
walls
you
only?
eliminated that.
Is that where we're
Yeah,
at?
now we've eliminated 2 altogether.
Are we on the walls only? Galvanized will still be
I'm good with that.
Galvanized prohibited.
Galvanized for,
on walls and roof?
Prohibited.
What about Galvaloon?
this is only siding,
Okay.
only siding.
Gal in it.
All right.
Galvaloon?
Gavaloom, it's
It
got
should be
gal in it.
under
No gals.
No gals.
Any other
I think
final
it's already
discussion?
prohibited on roofs.
We're losing control.
Prohibited on
Yeah, we're way off course.
Any other comments, questions? If not, let's do I guess this is a motion, right?
Yes.
Recommendation of approval or denial, that's the language that we would use.
Yes.
All right, I'll make the
And
motion.
Mr. Chairman, oh,
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Vicki.
I don't have anything to guide me. This is going to be fun. I make a motion that we approve the changes to the Village of Ruidoso Ordinance 2025-04 as discussed.
Thank you,
with
Vicki.
changes.
It's just a recommendation of approval is the motion, is that?
Right.
Okay.
For recommendation. Right.
We have a motion to recommend the approval.
Second.
I got a second from Josh. Any other discussion? Seeing none, let's do roll call.
Commissioner Byers?
Aye.
Commissioner Hall?
Aye.
Commissioner McElina?
Aye.
Commissioner Richardson?
Aye.
Commissioner Rigsby?
Aye.
Commissioner Williams?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Great. All right. Thank you to the subcommittee. I think when we set that up originally, you guys were going to do like 2 meetings, and then it turned into like 8 meetings. So I appreciate you and the time. Let's move to the community development report, and then we'll quickly adjourn after that. Alex, what you got for us?
All right, so since we did not have a meeting in July, you actually are, no, August, you have 2 months that are in there. Beyond that report that's within the packet, the short-term rental software, we are coming up on the actual rolling of that out. Just this morning, we have shut down the current software for the public. And so as part of that, we will be finalizing the numbers and the applications in there and then transferring that data over to the new company, Rentalscapes. And that software is scheduled to go live on the 8th of this month with that. So once we have that live and active, there's a possibility that we may do a demonstration for you at the next commission meeting, if that would be of interest to the commission. For that, would also point out that on the 17th of this month, there is a watershed planning meeting that is scheduled for the convention center at 4:30 to 7 o'clock in the evening. The setup for that will be that there will be a approximately half-hour presentation given at 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock, and then the remainder of that time will be for people to give comments and input to that watershed plan. Would also remind the commission that there is the training for commissioners that the Municipal League will be doing for us that was done at the conference back in May up in Taos. That will be happening Friday, starting at 9 o'clock and running till, are we 2 o'clock or 2:30?
10 to 2.
10 to 2.
10 to 2.
10 to 2.
Will be provided.
And there will be lunch provided in there. And then my last item would be, there are a couple items, including the one item that was withdrawn today, regard to the concept plan, the site plan and the, for Midtown. And then there's also another proposed development in there, that we may be bringing forward some consideration for changes to our code to allow for consideration of such uses in that. So that will be something that we will have for you perhaps at the next meeting.
Okay, sounds great. Can you give us an update on Rock House, 603 Meacham?
603 Meacham, there are, so the delay right now is in regard to some of those of the retaining walls around the pads. That is working its way through getting that resolved with the contractor so that they are properly designed and permitted.
I think we're 14 months past when we were supposed to have this done.
Yes.
To get state funding.
Are they resolving the drainage issue there as well?
And also having a look at the drainage, yes.
It's an issue.
It is, yes. As a current resident of that site, it is becoming, what's the word I'm looking for? There, you can see where the water is running. Yes, most certainly. Yeah.
So the state still good with us dragging our feet?
To the best of my knowledge, yes.
Hope so.
So
Hard to
the
write that
watershed
check.
meeting is what date?
That is on the 17th, 2 weeks from Wednesday.
From 4:30 to 7.
From 4:30 to 7. I see,
Doing that.
that is, Cobb Fendley is the consultant that's being used, and it is our water resources group that is the staff.
And the intentionality is for me to say, hey, we should put water in Grindstone? Like, should I provide that feedback?
I believe that is part of it.
Okay.
It is the current the management of the current watershed, and then also how do we look toward the future when it comes to potential restoration and also flood management.
Okay.
Yep. Stephanie is eyeing me across the way. Would you like to share your news, or would you like me to do it?
Either way.
I will let you, Stephanie, yeah.
So I would like to let y'all know that this is my last planning commission meeting with y'all.
No.
Did you get promoted?
I am taking a job with the county and in being their planning technician.
And you just wanted to drop this casually? We would have had cake and a
No
big
cake,
to-do.
no.
Yeah.
So, well,
Party.
I wasn't sure how many were gonna be in attendance today versus the training on Friday, so
Oh, okay. Celebrate Friday. Okay, cool.
whoever's here for that. So
Cool.
my last day will be on the 10th.
Well,
Okay.
congratulations and good luck.
Congratulations.
And
Yeah.
thank you for everything that you've
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, thank you guys for
Going to
everything.
work for the county.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
You have to travel?
No, thankfully, they're just 2 doors down.
Oh.
Oh, that's awesome.
Quitter. That's all I got.
Any other
I have
questions
a
for the planning department?
Of course I do.
yeah.
Oh, come on, man. I'm getting old down here.
Sorry, guys. I
God.
just had a question about the strip mall there at Meacham and Sudworth that's washing out underneath the mall and such each time the
Schlotzsky's.
water gets crazy. Are we looking at that as far as a public safety problem?
Yes, I had a conversation actually just this morning with Dave Myers, the building official. He is going to reach out to that owner to check to see that they have had an engineer look at it to be sure that it is structurally sound. This was something that was also done after the floods of last summer as well. And so that is, yes, there is an effort to address that.
Good, thank you.
No more Schlotzsky's for you.
Yes, mine's on short-term rentals, looking at, the July number, we were down to 1271. That's the lowest year over year, and down over 30 from last month. So I know we implemented the new fee structure in April, if I remember right. So I guess my question with the new software and all that is, when do the letters go out to the miscreants? The unpermitted, unlicensed ones, and the ones who are currently renting without a permit?
Sure, we will anticipate that once we get that number from, or the estimated number that they see of the unregistered properties, we will then do our side to see if there's anything that they were unable to verify that we were able to verify. And then probably I would suggest that by the end of September, we would be ready to start sending out those letters. And that would be something actually that that our firm Rentalscapes, Decker Technology, they will be doing that.
Well, I'd encourage them to remind the people there is a potential for a daily fine if they're renting without a license.
Correct.
From the village.
Yes.
What about the extra code enforcement officer for short-term rental?
So we don't have an extra code enforcement officer. We have the full-time inspector that we have done. The other part that comes in with this software program will be the 24/7 monitored call line to address, to put in for complaints on that, and then also to require the local contacts to do the resolution with that. So once we get the call line established with that, we will then have the ability to better put that out there for the local contacts to be taking care of any problems that come up. During the last, we've been doing this since April. So we really have not seen an uptick in the number of complaints that are making it to our office.
Hasn't been that many people here.
There have not been. We, in fact, just this past weekend, the complaint that did come in from this weekend suggested numerous calls to the non-emergency line. We are confirming the veracity of that statement, as well as whether or not they reached out to the owner and if the owner did anything with that. So
Yeah, I'll push back maybe a little bit. We don't have to get into it,
Sure.
but just because we haven't seen an uptick of complaints, there's not really a way to complain right now outside of what we had before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should have a way to complain next
No,
month.
I agree with you. I would add to that, would say, agree with you completely in there. I was about to add as well. However, one of the concerns that was expressed when we were doing the code changes was people either are not aware of the way to make a complaint, or they feel that we, the village, are not addressing those complaints adequately.
Yeah, I think the one call number 24/7 was going to make a difference.
Big difference.
So,
The fact that you'll be able to upload videos, photos, audios in your complaint through the public portal will make a difference on being able to sort that stuff out when you get to the point of, is it a strike or not a strike?
so what's the chain of command when that complaint comes in? Who's it go to first, and who's it end up being? Is it code enforcement? Is it going to be our inspectors?
So
Police, fire.
going through the complaint line, the initial response will be for the local contact or the owner to resolve that. If that resolution does not take place within approximately 2 hours, then it will be referred to the police department. And whether it is something that is appropriate for code whether they have the staffing to do that, if they're on duty, or if it's something for the police to respond to.
Need more people, basically.
Well, the reason why I say that is I remember when it came into the fact of fire pits, there was a big debate on who was responsible for responding to those. It became it's not my problem situation among several departments.
I think the way that the code is written is intended that it's the owner's problem or the local contact. And if they don't resolve it.
Enforcement, though.
But the enforcement, I'm talking about.
Yeah, but that's an ordinance issue because so they're breaking the law. So it should be police.
But on the village side,
Yeah.
they're trying to.
I don't know. I would say if they're breaking an ordinance, it's
The
police.
enforcement will be the key.
Supposed to enforce it.
You
Right.
can make all the rules you want to, but if it's
However
not
that needs
enforced.
to be enforced, it needs
Yeah.
to be enforced. It's the
Right.
same thing with the unlicensed ones. You're going to have to make an example out of about 1 or 2 people and then that'll start to solve the problem rather quickly.
The reason why I asked was that not part of the, when y'all came up with the fee, that there would be a third or a fourth or whatever code enforcement officer just for this?
I think that was the intention of the budget that was submitted, but if you remember, they didn't get the full
They
budget.
didn't
Right.
get the full budget, so.
So I
That's
can't
why I
speak
asked
to
where it
that.
fell to.
We should ask Michael next meeting. We should get Michael here so we can get that resolved. Because that's staffing, like,
Yeah, it's a staff.
Alex might not know for the full staff. Other comments, questions?
No, that's it.
Okay. Any commissioner comments or, all right. I suggested next meeting, just to let you guys know. I'm not gonna be here next meeting, so I'm
Oh,
so
you're
sorry.
kidding me.
No, I'm just going on vacation.
You're going to work for the county?
I'm not going to work for the county. I'm just going on vacation, so.
No wonder you got here
Ron,
early.
If you're around, you'll be, in charge next meeting.
Is that why you got here early today?
That's right.
So you could be non-existent next time?
Exactly. If there are no, I'd entertain a motion to resign.
Motion, second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned. What did I say, resign?
Resign.
I resigned. You guys just made a motion, I resigned.
That's just Stephanie.